Check, check. Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hey, Gabriel, how are you doing? This is Javier. Can you hear me?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Gabriel.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you too.
I'm going to be your mentor throughout this course, and thank you for scheduling this one-on-one meeting.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
let me tell you how the one-on-one meeting works, and then I would like to know a little bit more about yourself. Right?
Okay.
So basically, you can schedule this call with me every week, once every week.
Okay.
And what you're going to do through this call is we're going to go through this little format that I have over here, which basically I'm
Okay.
going to ask you like, how's your progress coming along with the program? If we need to make any changes to your learning plan that I'm going to show to you in 1 second. And
hmm
and then like we're going to spend the majority of our time just any questions you may have, any code you would like to run or they want me to check. So
Okay.
that's basically pretty straightforward what the one-on-one meeting entails.
Uh-huh.
But before we go into that, I want to know a little bit more about yourself. So just tell me a little bit about your background and like what made you decide to join this program.
Yeah, for sure. So I graduated with a degree in computer science from the University of Arizona back in 2018. And
Nice.
then I went to go serve on a mission trip for my church for about 7 months.
Wow.
And I came back and I realized, hey, I forgot a lot of this coding stuff. So I was looking, I have some friends in industry, and they said that while they were interviewing with different companies, they were doing stuff with Udacity and other sites so that they
Nice.
can keep up with their stuff. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through the data engineering nano degree so that I can remember how to do stuff and then eventually start applying again.
That's great. I think
Yeah.
and especially this program it's super high demand right now because like
Yeah.
it will cover. I mean, you'll know how to use AWS,
Yeah.
like you'll become a master of it, so that's going
Yeah.
to be great.
Cool.
So congratulations for taking that decision.
Thank you.
I'm actually a data analyst, and
Mhm.
that's my current job, but I completed this project myself, so I've coded every line of code that I needed to complete this project, so I know exactly
Uh-huh.
like what you're going to go through.
Okay.
So feel free to ask your questions as you start having them, or if
hmm
you want to discuss some concepts or whatever you need. I'm here to help. Man.
Awesome. Sounds
So
great.
let me share with you. I've created for you a learning plan, right? So I'm going
Cool.
to share this with you after we end our call,
Uh-huh.
and basically it has like your starting date, and it
Uh-huh.
has a suggested pace like content focus depending on the day.
hmm
So this is for someone that is dedicating about 2 hours per day. Okay, so
Yeah.
feel free to make the changes as you see your schedule to adjust to your schedule needs. All right,
hmm
but for example, right here. So basically, you would spend 2 days working on data modeling this lesson, and
hmm
then 1 or 2 days working on this lesson, and then you have all of these days to work on the project, and this would be your project due date. These are
Okay.
soft deadlines. So, like, if you miss a deadline, it's not like you're out of the program or something along those lines.
hmm
But it's a suggested pace. All right.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
like, if you're falling like really behind on it, like you need to like focus again on the project. So that's basically
hmm
the why we set it up,
Okay.
we set this up. So it will give you like an bird's eye view of like all the lessons and all the
hmm
projects that you need to complete for this program.
Okay.
And at the end, you'll have a capstone project, which, as you can see, it's basically for you to create whatever you want. There are some guidelines for sure,
Yeah.
and but basically you'll have uh, like you'll spend about 2-3 weeks working on it
Okay.
before you submitted it. And apart from that, we have the data pipelines project,
hmm
uh, data ware, the data lake project, data warehouse project, and of course the Cassandra and Postgres data
Okay.
modeling project. So I'm going to share this with you after we end our call. Any questions
Okay.
about the learning plan?
No, it's all looks good. Yeah.
Awesome. And there obviously like some notes, like if you want to adjust it, and this is for you to use. I mean,
Okay.
so if you need
Yeah.
to make some changes to it, go ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So that was the first. Okay. With that in mind,
Hmm.
so the first question is, how's your progress coming along in the program? So basically, we want to know like if you're following the learning plan.
Hmm.
And so I know I've had this is the first time that I share with you, but let's say for example right now, it's October 26th. So you should be working through this lesson, data model and relational data models. Were
Hmm.
you be able to like progress through the first lessons of the course so far, or how's your progress coming along?
So right now I'm on the project for data modeling with Postgres.
Nice. That's exactly the place that we want you to be. So
Sweet.
you're on schedule.
Hmm.
Nice. Um, and so we don't need to make, and that's the second question, like if we need to make any changes to your learning plan. I don't
Okay.
think we need to make any changes to your
Yeah.
learning plan. I think you're right on schedule.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, I'm spending about 2 hours a day from Monday to Saturday.
perfect.
Nice.
That's basically like, and right now you just saw it, like that's your
Yeah.
exact schedule because you're spending that amount of time. That's the
Okay.
way that,
Sweet.
that I can tell.
Hmm. Yeah.
and and then the question is like, what can I help you with today? Like, you do you have any questions regarding the lessons, about the concepts, or some code that you would like us to check, or walk through
I
any projects? Any questions at all?
I did take a database engineering class back in college,
Okay.
and I know we went a lot over normalization, like went up to like Boyce-Codd and then the
Right.
fourth form and all that stuff. But all that kind of went out the window, and I'm having a lot of trouble, especially with second to third normal form.
Right.
Because like with the example for the record store, with like the music store and the transactions, and an album sold, like when I read it, it makes sense, you know. But during
Right.
the exercises, I'm just like staring at the screen and I was like, I don't know how to get from this to that, you know.
Right.
So like,
Absolutely.
I guess starting off with the first normal form with the music store, you have the transaction ID, a customer, cashier, a year, and an album.
Right.
And it didn't occur to me to like separate transactions and albums sold. You know what I mean? Um, but when I look at it, it makes sense.
Right.
So when you're separating these tables into different ones, do you want every table to be like, I guess, its own type of information? Like, because I can understand transactions, cashiers, and albums, like those are separate entities,
For
you know?
sure. Hmm.
Is that the idea, to keep them all as separate entities without sharing information with the other ones?
Um, Basically, you don't want to repeat yourself. That's basically what you want to avoid.
Okay.
It's not so much that you want them to be separate entities,
Yeah.
but you're going to join them at the end. So
Okay.
you will see the difference once you start working with a Patrick Cassandra, that is like, it doesn't care about that. Uh,
Yeah.
but 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 yeah, you don't want to repeat yourself. So for example, like if you have one table that you care about, I don't know, the song, the song information, so you
Hmm.
obviously want to have, uh you would like to have some of the artist information, but you don't need everything from the artist. Like you don't
Hmm.
need to know like what other albums has that artist created.
Okay.
You don't need to
Uh-huh.
know like I don't know, because like in a separate artist table, you can have like everything for the artist. You can have like where, what place was the artist born,
Hmm.
what the age he had when he died. I don't know, like
Yeah.
all sort of crazy stuff. Do
Uh-huh.
you really need that in a song table?
Hmm.
And imagine this, like if you have in the same table, you have like 100 different songs from the same artist. You will have
Yeah.
like 100 songs. Then the 100 songs will say like same artist, and it will say died at age 55 like 100 times. like
Okay.
like that doesn't make sense. Like you don't need that in that table. And it's
Yeah.
just like some extra stuff that now you have to go through all that extra stuff every time you query that table.
Yeah.
So that's basically what you want to avoid. Instead of
Okay.
that, I can just like place the artist ID,
Hmm.
and I know that like, okay, it's linked to this artist. But if I need like any other information about the artist, I know I have like a separate entity that will take care of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Let's see if I have any other questions. Hmm. I think that's pretty much the only question I had because everything else I remember.
Nice.
Um, and for the projects, should we have like our environments on our computers, or are we going to be working on those projects in Udacity?
You have both options. So you will, for each project, you will be provided with a workspace.
Okay.
So the workspace is pretty cool because you basically have like all your files that you
Oh,
need.
okay,
You may
cool.
have a terminal, so you don't have to go through all the hassle of setting your environment,
Yeah,
because that can be like really frustrating and
it is.
take you
Yeah,
away from the learning. Because
yeah,
like, well, I've been working on this project for, I don't know, 4 days, and the only thing that I have been able to do is like set up my environment. So
yeah.
that's not what we want to do. So what I would suggest you do is work with the projects here, the workspace. And
Mhm.
once you're done with them, like if you want to revisit them and work them locally, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's because the thing is, since it's a paid service by month, you don't want to spend like 5 days not
Yeah.
learning and just setting your environment. So I will
Yeah.
get that done first through the workspace, and then when
Mhm.
you're done with all the projects, like you can for sure like calmly set up your environment and make them work locally. That's
That
what I
makes
would
sense.
suggest.
Yeah.
So once you're about to submit the project, it's pretty straightforward because all your files are already saved here. So you just click on the submit project button.
Okay.
That takes care of it.
Sweet. Awesome.
Nice. There are a couple of other resources that I want you to be aware of. So
Hmm.
here on this left tab, you have extracurriculars. All right. So you have
Hmm.
Intro to Python, some SQL for data analysis, command line, Git and GitHub.
Hmm.
So these are not required for you to graduate, but it's nice to have them. I would use them more as a menu. Like
Hmm.
if you see yourself struggling with some SQL or some command line, much of these are like pretty essential.
Yeah.
So most likely you already know how to handle of it. But like if
Yeah.
you're struggling with a certain concept, I would just like take a look and maybe see a couple of videos and, oh yeah, I remember it now, and then
Yeah.
continue working on the main project. The other thing that's going to be super helpful for you once you start the job search, you have here
Yeah.
in the briefcase the career portal.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool because it's basically another course by itself. So
Hmm.
you have like the module one, research your career options, and it has like all these different lessons and videos and resources. And
Yeah.
then once you're done with that, like you can continue to the next one. And it has like even these small projects about your GitHub review
Okay.
and resume and
Hmm.
applying to jobs and you interview practices. So I would definitely suggest you take a look at this. And
Sweet.
so I mean, it's up to you how you wish to follow this track.
Hmm.
Once again, since it's a paid service, I would focus on the main track. And once I'm
Yeah.
done with that, once you graduate, you have access to this for an entire year. So,
Okay.
like, calmly, you can go over to this career portal track.
Okay.
And from there, you have the student hub, which is
Hmm.
basically where we have our conversations. So feel free to drop your questions here as you have them, all right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I check this every day. So
Okay.
you should expect an answer from me daily.
Uh-huh.
And you also have like this communities where you have access to your classmates. So
Okay.
basically, you ask a question, and maybe a mentor or a fellow classmate can answer it.
Okay.
So those are the main resources that you have access to,
Hmm.
and you already know how to schedule the one-on-one, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. Uh,
Awesome.
Any other question, any other thing that you would like us to talk about?
Mm, so I guess in terms of after finishing the course, um, for my resume, should I just be putting on like those projects that I worked on, or can I put in that like I have a nano degree from Udacity?
Both. Do both. I mean, like put the yeah, put that you have a nano degree on
Yeah.
education, and then you can have like separate projects, and then you can list like
Okay.
under description. Feel free to upload your projects to GitHub as well. I mean, they're
Yeah.
yours. It's your code, so for sure,
Okay.
definitely. And yeah, I have one more thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Um, so you will see that that some of the there are a couple of projects that are incorporated into the main track, which
Hmm.
are the GitHub one and the link
Yeah.
profile one. I mean, they'll take one day, so they're incorporated here because they're like the like you have to have them ready.
Yeah. Mhm.
Uh, so I will work on these two as like in the main track, and then when you're
Okay.
done with everything, like you can go back to it to the
Okay.
rest of
Sweet.
the projects that are not required or
Yeah.
not like yeah like required to graduate.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Well, I think those are all the questions that I have. But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it was great meeting you. I'm going to share the learning plan. I'm going to send it to your email
Okay.
address that I have here on
Yeah.
record.
Hmm.
And once again, feel free to drop your questions if you have them through the Student Hub.
Yeah.
Feel free to schedule this one-on-one meeting every week. It's not required, but
Uh-huh.
it's here for you to use. So it's a tool that you can use as you wish.
Okay.
So awesome. It was great meeting you.
Good meeting you too, man. All right. I'll see you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye bye.